Hey guys, we are back at Hong Kong FinTech Week, and we're talking to Christo from TransferWise. Now, your company has origins in Skype, and Skype disrupted the long-distance telephone market for telecoms. You guys are disrupting the market for transfers, which was once a cash cow for banks. Now, if I was a bank, I wouldn't really like that. What kind of pushback have you seen from the old school legacy banks?
So this is a great analogy actually, because if you kind of go back to first principles, then making an international call versus a local call is technically kind of the same. It doesn't matter how long the wires are that they have to go over or which country borders they cross, right? So the reason why Skype was able to do that was because there was nothing special about international calls, and we see that in the internet, right? So if you send an email from Hong Kong to San Francisco, it's going to kind of cost you the same than sending that email to Singapore, right? Which is just close by. So the same analogy works with money, really, because we're moving. We don't have suitcases of cash carried over country borders. It is really just information. So it's absolutely right that the cost of domestic money should be the same as the cost of international, rather the other way around. The cost of international should be the same as domestic. And you point out that banks have kind of created this illusion that international transfers are more expensive. And in fact, let's be clear, they haven't made that illusion. They say, okay, international wires are $35. What they don't tell you is they use an exchange rate where they charge you another 5% of the transfer, just giving you a terrible exchange rate that's favoring them and not you. But you're right, overall they take a lot more money than they take from international transfers.
So part of your pitch is that you guys have the same Forex rates you see on Google, right? So obviously banks make money on that margin. So you guys don't charge much for wire transfer fees. You don't have that margin. How on earth do you make money?
We do charge transparently, so you're right that we never hide anything in the exchange rate. You get exactly the same as you get on Google, on Reuters, on any independent source of exchange rates. But we do charge a fee. And of course, when we look at the fee and compare it to what banks do, then it's 10 times less. But that also makes sense because the costs involved in moving money, like with this long distance telephone calling that you started, are not actually too different to making domestic payments. So our charges are somewhere, depending on the market, 5 times to 10 times less than what the banks would take.
So a big theme today at the conference was the idea of the central bank digital currency. We saw the head of the PBOC's research team on that talk with his counterpart from Thailand. So obviously, if we were to see this kind of cryptocurrency be implemented around the world, it would definitely decrease the costs of wire transfers.
Sure. I mean, if the world chooses a nomination of a digital currency and every country joins that, that'd be awesome. You don't need TransferWise. Heaven forbid. Don't spend any more than if you have the same currency. And it would be pretty awesome. I think the best achievement so far to show is Europe. So Europe has created Eurozone that is pretty complex, like 20 countries working together. And in fact, some of the recent countries that joined, I think I recall Latvia, when they joined, they calculated that the whole country saved something like 200 million euros just for not doing currency conversion, or not being a separate currency zone. So that's definitely a saving. But then on the other hand, keeping a currency zone together like Eurozone hasn't been easy either. So there's I'm definitely for moving more and more into those currency zones, but it doesn't seem to be a very straightforward thing to achieve on a kind of global scale.
Of course. All right, so last question. We're here at Hong Kong FinTech Week. What are you seeing on the show floor for trends? What pops out to you?
There's a lot of kind of stands, and there's a lot of variety here. You don't have like one thing and then everyone's doing the same thing. I see there's I don't know if that's that's a sign of times. But there's a year ago we would have seen much more like blockchain, crypto related things. I think that's much more rational now. There's still kind of uses of that technology, but they start to make a little bit more sense than they maybe did a year or 2 years ago. So that's I think a kind of positive trend that is happening. But it seems to be that Asia is certainly booming, and there's more to expect from here.
Great. Well, thanks for your time.